So if you're trying to make one of these of your own, I'm going to try and show it to you. I'm here in an untitled project just with After Effects just opened, and I'm going to do a file import here. I have a version of my Adobe Illustrator Kaleidoscope file that I believe I fixed some problems on, so I'm going to try and show you what I did with it. So here we have try 5 fixed, and the key here is to open this not as footage but as a composition. And if you want to retain the layer sizes, it'll fit the 1080p just right. Let's go ahead and import that. And it's brought in the composition and then the layers that make up that composition. If you double click on it, here is a 30-second composition with those layers. And they look pretty good. Now in order to make these really work, we need to first get rid of the guide layer. Those are some gray lines that we really don't need. I just tapped the delete key on my keyboard. Next, we need to add a camera. Otherwise this won't work in 3D. So you go to Layer, New, and just use the default camera that we have here. Those settings should work fine. Now it's telling us that these things don't affect two-dimensional layers, which is what these are right now. So I'm selecting all 6 of the layers, right-clicking, and saying make this a 3D layer. This allows us to move these in 3D space. I'm going to change my active camera view to custom view number 3. So you can see that the camera is looking at all of these layers and they're the same distance from the camera. If I start off with layer 1, the smallest layer, and I move it away from the camera, I can then spread these out in Z-space. If I return my front view, active camera, they are still concentric, but the scales might be a little bit different. Notice that we're not as close to the edge as we were before. I'm going to highlight those 6 and tap the S key on my keyboard so that I can see just the scale. So I can see only the scale property of each one of these. I'm going to go back to layer 6 and I'm going to increase the size so that it gets closer to the edge. And just fit each one of these into this new pattern so that most of the screen is covered in between. Each one will be scaled up a different amount because it's been pushed further away from the camera. And I don't know about the mini one. Let's go to a 200% view, and you can see the innermost layer there. I'm just going to scale it up right to there. And now we've got everything spread out in Z-space with a 3D camera ready to do some animating.